Tonight, New Zealand Auditor General John Ryan presented his report to members of the Niue Assembly at a special meeting held at the Fono Ekepule. Niue holds its first consultation this week on the Pacific One Maritime framework. And it was an action-packed day of netball at the Fingo Kulasea Ioane Rising Stars tournament. Good evening and welcome to our BCN News Bulletin, and a warm whakalofa atu to all our viewers from across the region, thanks to our partners at Pacifica TV. A special meeting of the Fono Ekepule took place yesterday to hear from New Zealand's Auditor General, John Ryan, as he presented his report findings on the audit of the accounts for 2022, 2023 and 2024. BCN News spoke with Ryan after his presentation, saying his report talks about how well the Niue government has accounted for, and it's up to the government to determine whether the money is spent.
So my report talks about how well the government has accounted for its money. It's up to the government to determine where the money gets spent, so I can't comment on that. It's for Parliament to debate that. But making sure that the information that the Parliament gets is up to date has been our key concern over the last couple of years, and it now is.
He also confirmed that Niue's government financial statement is now up to date after years of delay, a milestone achievement for Niue. He highlighted some areas of improvement, including some systems that are not up to date, with a project now underway to bring modern accounting systems, making it easier to prepare financial statements, to record all transactions, and have reliable information for the people of Niue.
However, there are things that need to still improve, and we've just tabled a report in Parliament which sets out some of those improvements. I think the main points that we raise in that report are that some of the systems are not up to scratch, and so there's a project underway now in Niue to bring modern accounting systems to some of the areas where there aren't modern accounting systems. And I think that will make it much easier to prepare financial statements, to record all the transactions, and to have reliable information for the people of Niue.
Prime Minister Dalton Tangilangi expressed his appreciation for the continued support and guidance provided to the government of Niue throughout the Auditor General's years of service. The Auditor General also had discussions with the various key stakeholders this week. Finance Minister Honourable Crossley Tatui says the budget for the 2025-2026 financial year aims to address the lessons learned and the necessary adjustments we must make in the new fiscal year. In his address at the Niue Assembly, Honourable Tatui highlighted on finance and economic management, saying further work is needed to develop integrated investment policies and strategies to guide our development aspiration. Tatui said major reforms in the finance sector will support our tourism industry, agriculture, trade, fisheries, and marine conservation under the now public-private partnership agreement. Subsistence living continues to play a significant role in our local economy, with some exports including honey, vanilla, crops, and noni. The Niue Development Bank and Kiwi Bank Agency remain important and trusted partners in economic development. Economic recovery is evident from the growing trend in FPOS transactions locally. He added the review of the investment and development legislation will also support the modernization of the private sector and economic development. The appropriation bill is now with the Public Accounts Committee for review, after which it will be returned to the House of Assembly for its second and final reading. The Niue government yesterday officially launched the Niue National Security Strategy 2025 to 2029. The strategy focuses on the safety and security of its people, the protection of its way of life, and its role in contributing to regional and global security efforts. Prime Minister Honourable Dalton Tangilangi said the action plan is a milestone for the nation, a 4-year plan for the people of Niue, not for today but the future when it comes to the safety, well-being, the environment and our way of life.
The government support it. Why? Because it ties in with what we are looking at. The Niue Kokaina, it ties in with the 7 pillars of our Niue strategic plan and all others. And I'm very happy to hear, I read a little bit last night. I read the draft last year, but I forgot it. But it reminded me itself last night and this morning how important and how valuable this document is going to be for us today, but more so for those tomorrow, our generation. And of course, it is an important milestone for us, for the journey, as mentioned before, to ensure the safety and the well-being of our people, our environment, and our way of life.
Ross Ardern of the Pacific Security College said the document was led by our leaders and identified issues faced by Niue daily. His project team provided support and technical assistance throughout the development of the strategy.
We have a strategy that builds economic stability of this wonderful country. Niue has always played its part in regional security and supporting the mechanisms of the Moia Declaration, but there is room to do more for yourselves. So you have identified your challenges in consultation with us, some of which are on your doorstep this very minute, right now. They are here. Other challenges are just over the horizon, but are we prepared for them? That is your role. Preparation is everything. Your priorities have been identified by you. They are climate change, those everlasting environmental security challenges, critical infrastructure vulnerabilities, and of course health and security. But you've also acknowledged the impact of other facets of life in Niue, the fiscal pressures, the domestic social threats, health and food security, maritime threats. After all, we're an island. Transnational organised crime, cybercrime, financial crime, and of course, the all-important geopolitical environment that we work in today, and we need to work together. As I've said many times, just because you are small does not mean that you are not susceptible to these security threats. You need this plan implemented so that your people can feel safe. Your way of life is protected now and into the future.
This strategy also sets a benchmark on the government's approach to achieving its vision with key regional and international frameworks, including the BCN Declaration on Regional Security, the Sustainable Development Goals, and the 2050 Strategy for the Blue Pacific Continent. The project was supported by various New Zealand government agencies in partnership with the Pacific Security College. Our senior reporter, Esther Pavihi, was in Apia, Samoa this week, attending the first regional media training on loss and damage reporting. Hosted by the Secretariat of the Pacific Regional Environment Program, or SPREP, the training aims at building capacity for Pacific Island journalists to factually and consistently report on one of the most urgent climate issues facing the region. In his opening address to the journalists on Monday, SPREP Director General Sefanaya Nawandra said that he too has heard many times the questions about why leaders are always traveling to these meetings. One way to help address this is to bring journalists together and through this training build a better understanding of loss and damage and climate change in order to develop better knowledge brokers for our region. He says we recognize the key role that you play in keeping our people informed. About 20 journalists from across the region were part of the 4-day event with funding from the New Zealand government. Niue held its first consultation this week on the Pacific One Maritime Framework. The framework aims to address and respond to the needs, priorities, challenges, and emerging issues in the Pacific maritime sector, focusing on safety and security, decarbonization efforts, cost, and access for remote communities. Here's more on this story. The Pacific One Maritime Framework came about after a request was made from the Pacific Transport Ministers during the Pacific Energy and Transport Ministerial Meeting held in Vanuatu in 2023. Maritime consultant at the Pacific Region Infrastructure Facility, John Fox, shared more on his role. The Pacific Region Infrastructure Facility is a multi-partner coordination and technical assistance facility that aims to improve the quality and coverage of infrastructure and service delivery in the Pacific.
That they wanted a maritime framework that actually consolidated all maritime transport within the region. Then there's never been a maritime framework. There has been a transport framework that included Maritime is a small section in it, but they wanted one that was Maritime. So they've asked the development partners to actually assist the Pacific. So SPC has been the secretariat for this process. Actually trying to set up a maritime framework that goes with the aspirations of the region, the Pacific region. Actually, in a nutshell, to create a safe and secure maritime transport network within the Pacific.
Fox said there were constructive discussions by those in attendance on Monday.
This consultation will be rolled out throughout all the countries. We've come up with a draft, a zero draft of the actual framework, is to bring it back to the countries and see if it aligns with the aspirations of each individual country. We don't really want to put out a document that will go against the grain of what the Pacific Island countries have within their aspirations, what they want.
One of the key objectives of the consultation is to gather NUE's national input on the POMF Zero Draft and ensure NUE's priorities align with the framework's vision. The project has been funded by the European Union, with the Pacific Community co-implementing the work with partners all over the Pacific region, including the International Maritime Organization, SPREP, and PRIF. The NUE Chamber of Commerce last Thursday announced the soft launch of its revamped website. CEO Catherine Papani said it's an exciting milestone that reflects NCOC's commitment to advancing digital access and service delivery for businesses across NUE.
We're very happy indeed to have soft launched the NUE Chamber of Commerce website last week. We did a soft launch to mainly our development partners and our board, and this was just to garner feedback from them on what it would look like, and it did go live. The reason why we did refresh on our website is because our website has been dormant for quite a while. We didn't have the resources to actually put it back on, and we were given the opportunity on a chance meeting with one of our own Niuean sons who came back to Niue on his holiday, and James Brown of Alofi.
Website designer James Brown provided in-house training to 2 staff members who will take the lead in keeping the platform responsive to members and the wider community.
Some of the key features that we're really keen on is creating the calendar of the events and updating that regularly. And this will enable us to put all our workshops and what we're involved in as well with the projects, linking in some of the regional agencies, our development partners. We also have a directory of businesses that are currently being worked on. So members to our NUE Chamber of Commerce, which includes our local businesses here on Niue, our partners, and also overseas businesses, are able to put their information on so that people will know who are the electricians, who are the builders. So we'll put that into a sector categorized platform on our website.
And to sports, students from years 4 to 9 clashed in an action-packed day of netball at Niue Primary School over the weekend, competing for the top honors in the Fingo Kulasea Iowane Rising Stars netball tournament. The tournament honors the late Niue netball player and coach who passed away in 2021. Our Rising Star reporters from Niue High School and Niue Primary School filed this story.
Welcome to Fingo Kulasea Iowane Rising Star Netball Tournament. Hello everyone, my name is Suli Viviani Fuhiniu, and today I am here with Ivy Malia Fatai. So Ivy, what do you enjoy about playing netball?
Shooting, trying to help our team get a goal. Like those people over there are playing right now behind us, which that's all I like about is just throwing the ball into a goal.
Who are you playing for?
Hakupu Stars, which our team is called Strikers.
My name is Jim Makayapa Sisi, and this is Miss Edwards with me. And who are the teams that we had competing today?
Okay, so we had 10 teams from 5 different clubs. So the clubs were Alofi, Aliutu Classics, Hakupu, Tamame Tuapa, and your team, Tamavaiava.
From what you've seen this morning from all these teams, who do you think is the team to beat, like to go against and to win?
Oh, and that would be Alofi Maku, or I don't know. I'm not sure. Probably Hakupu is going to beat everybody, for sure.
Do you think they're gonna win against us?
Maybe, for sure.
No.
See about it.
This tournament a memory of Whingo. Can you tell us more, please?
Okay, so today is called the Whingo Kulasea Ioane Rising Stars Tournament. The reason why we called it that in memory of her, because Whingo was not only a Niue representative for netball, she was also an advocate for all the little kids, and she would gather in all different children from different villages, and she would teach them netball skills, and she was one of our best players on Niue. And so we thought in memory of her that we would dedicate and keep this going so that people would continue to remember her for the great netball player that she was.
Okay, and first place, year 4 to 6, and this goes to Alofi Jets. So Alofi Jets, come up and get your voucher now.
And we just want to encourage the students so that they continue to play, and hopefully sometime down the track that these very children are the ones that will represent Niue on the international stage.
And the cash prize of $250. First place goes to Tama Maituapa.
How does it feel for our team to win?
Happy, because pretty much we've been losing a little bit, but we got higher because the more we work together, the more we can cooperate easily to win, and yeah.
That's all from Niue Primary School Rising Star Netball Tournament. Congratulations to all the team. Ram Sansa signing out from BCN News.
Congratulations, Tama Maituapa. Ciao!
And before we end things tonight, this is my last day at BCN, and I would like to take this opportunity to say a big vinakavakalevu to the BCN board members, manager Trevor Siakia, head of news Esther Pavihi, and my workmates for giving me the opportunity to live and work in Niue for the past 1.5 years. It's been a great journey of life lessons, fulfilling one of my dreams of living in an island paradise other than Fiji. I hope I have made a small contribution to newsworthy stories that have made an impact in your community. Thank you everyone for your support in allowing us to tell your stories. You can join our hardworking team next Tuesday for our Wangahau Bulletin. Until then, I'm Mersa Takala, Moademanda.